Let me start this video off by saying this. I 100% do not condone, whether you're sub to me or not sub to me, someone going out and committing a crime willfully, okay? Premeditated, however it happens, I don't condone it. Violence for the sake of violence is something I don't get down with. Violent acts, even if it's not directly on a person, but it indirectly affects people or affect them, because I get those two words mixed up. I've never understood the difference between the two, effect and affect. When you willfully know something can put you behind bars, you need to be careful, okay? I'm not going to put the article up because I know this is something y'all have all seen, and you'll see images, and in all seriousness, it'll seem like I'm joking, but this time I'm not. So, all right. As I said, I don't condone any violence. Don't go out here doing crazy stuff because something didn't work your way, because a lot of people are doing that. So let's take a quick trip to California, particularly a city I'd never heard of called Ontario, where a disgruntled employee turned on some type of camera, presumably on his phone, had a match, and proceeded to start Puff the Magic Dragon on some darn toilet paper. And went into a rant about the employer not caring about you and all of this stuff, which is legitimate. I mean, his gripes were legitimate. Next thing you know, it makes the national news. You see a huge factory up in flames. Employees are having to be relocated to different spots. The weird reason that I covered this story is because the man that did it, it wasn't even that he was arrested, because that's arson. They gotta arrest you. You burned a building down, my dude. The reason, okay, that I covered this story is that one of his co-workers, who had barely been working there less than a month, had literally just had a decent conversation with him and had no indication that when he walked out on his lunch that he would look up and see his building on fire from the same guy who just had a decent and very calm conversation with him. He absolutely did not see it coming. Where is your psychosis that one minute you're talking to your co-worker and the next minute you're the reason that a building went up in flames? Because it's to my understanding the man's been arrested. I didn't read up on exactly when he got arrested, but I know he's been arrested. Okay. I meant what I said with my disclaimers, but I'm going to do something because I've seen people make jokes or have serious conversations. So here is my take on it. This man committed a crime without a doubt. He caused co-workers to be displaced and have to go to other factories, assuming that's true, instead of just giving them a severance or whatever, sending them off. That could all just be, you just never know what Kimberly Clark is going to do. For the record, you all know Kimberly Clark, right? When people go to the store and they hoard toilet paper, that's one of the few things that's still made in the USA, and yet people will still hoard it, despite the fact that we have abundance of toilet paper. And they'll still go, or abundance of people who factories that make it. I'll say it like that, not an abundance of toilet paper itself. Here's my question, and I know this will alienate people. Sorry, I scratched my finger against my chair. Am I the only person finding it a touch easy, despite the crime that was committed, despite the displacement of co-workers. Because to my knowledge, no one was unalive. They all got out, unless you guys give me clarification, and I'll apologize for it on a post later, or down in the comments. Am I the only one that's finding it hard to not have empathy for this man? See, given the current climate, given the layoffs, on the one hand, y'all can say, where he should have had gratitude, at least he had a job. Where does your mind go that you're having a calm, decent conversation with a coworker, and that person goes on lunch in less than 2 hours, and look up, and the same person that was talking to you like a regular adult filmed himself setting the building on fire? That right there is some guts, to put yourself on camera doing it and saying these people don't care about us. Yeah, Sugar gonna interrupt this. She does this all the time, despite the fact I fed her. But we're gonna get back to the story. I legitimately believe, based on the fact that he was acting like a normal coworker, that he filmed himself and made it known it was him. Because toilet paper, it's going to catch fire quick when you do that, the way he was lighting it. Somebody, and this is what I believe, somebody in that company, in that particular factory, legitimately disrespected that man in a manner in which he would rather risk prison time to prove a point. And I think his disrespect is based on a wider conversation about the cost of living not keeping up with wages, and how you can work for someone, research your own company, which I'm not saying he did, and know that they're taking home multi-million-dollar checks while you're scraping by, figuring out how you're going to put food on the table, or keep a roof over your head, or pay your car note. And based on those stakeholder meetings, for those who go look that up, that they're screwing you over. Look, I'm not one of those eat the rich, because the rich are the ones who create jobs. I'm not saying you shouldn't even make multi-millions. I'm not even saying that what this man did should be a movement across the country, because again, I don't condone it. But don't expect me to not have empathy for him. Because what crap was he taking off of people? No pun intended, no crap go down the toilet paper. What was he taking off of these people that made him talk and stay real calm and then snap like that? See, I can empathize just as much with him as the people who got displaced and had to go find other places to go work. And I'm hoping that they kept their word when they gave that statement on television that they're finding everybody else jobs. Stop force feeding a false gratitude to people that because they have a job, they should be fortunate. Because what difference does it make if you talk to them about gratitude and yet you talk down to them? What difference does it make if they don't get paid as much as they should for what they do? And let's say this wasn't about pay. Somebody in that place, at least one person, or some aspect about how that place ran, was disrespectful to that man. And how many people there who are law-abiding citizens who would never have burned that place down also felt disrespected but knew they'd better not say anything? Or for legitimate reasons. They got to put food on the table. They got a child in private school. They got a sick relative at home. Sucked it up because you're told, well, at least you got a job. False gratitude. Come here, put up a good attitude and pretend you like it, though we're mistreating you. I believe some people that work there are legitimately happy with their jobs. I'm saying in this man's case, something happened that we're not being told. And I think that lots of people are finding it in their heart to be sympathetic and empathetic because he just became a representation of how far a lack of quality of life will push some people. I hate that the factory got burned down. I don't like that the people got displaced. My thoughts and prayers with the displaced workers. I hope no one got seriously injured or hurt or is unalived. Yeah, he going to prison. That don't mean my sympathies aren't with this man. Tell me what you think. Do you think that him doing this transcends a crime in itself, meaning that the message he sent resonates? And if you think, tell me in the comments how. All right, I know some of y'all gonna jump down my case, but I think what he did is just the beginning of people's action when life does not work in the free world the way that it should. All right, thank y'all for listening. Take care. Give me your opinion, and have a good one.